Three, two, one, go.
Woo!
Yeah.
Now it's they're gonna have a glorious show with the three of us. We're the party
We're a good
animals.
time.
Last time we saw each other was Louisville PopCon.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah.
24?
Yeah, it's
It
been
was
last
24.
year.
was it? Yeah, it's been a year. So, well, I
That
guess
was
we should introduce.
Intense week.
Yeah, that
Really
was an
intense
intense
week for
week. There was
us.
a lot, and I wasn't feeling so great.
I
feel
was.
better today.
I had just come back from doing GalaxyCon in San Jose.
Oh,
Literally flew in that Tuesday, slept Tuesday and Wednesday. Mom was kind enough to do laundry, packed, and then left and drove the 11 hours to Louisville.
jeez.
So like, I hit PopCon and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm dead. This is gonna be rough." So if you saw any of those panels, I'm just sitting there looking like, I have nothing to say. I'm burnt out so hard until we hit the Steve Burns, Mr. Rogers debate, and I was like, I got to do something. This is going to be entertaining.
Yes. For those who don't know who we are, I'm Valerie Willis. I'm a co-founder of Four Horsemen, a award-winning fantasy author and an expert typesetter in my field. I have designed thousands of books. I've written I like writing myths, monsters, and lovers that you'll bleed for is sort of my motto. And you can find all my books at willisauthor.com, fourhorsemenpublications.com, and where books are sold. And my co-host here.
So, you're not going to... Okay.
You can talk.
This is how it works between us. So I'm Leslie and
I'm Janice.
And we actually are authors of the Amulet series. Our first book is called Breed Reborn, and the entire series follows that pattern. A lot of people don't know how to pronounce it, so we like to introduce that to people. We write Scottish mythology for young adults at the moment, retellings of them, and we are still workshopping our next series idea. You can find our books wherever books are sold, but additionally at leslieandjanicesommers.com and Four Horsemen Publication.
Woot! Which I love that our first question, just so you guys know, Chelsea has loaded us with 3 bullets. We're going to fire these off and see where we land. But the cool thing about us both is that we both like putting a lot of mythology and things into our books. I am a big hand for Celtic. So are you guys. But I also do Greek, and I try to like sprinkle in Caribbean. I like the excuse to bounce around and do more research is my problem. But I love that our first question is, what is a character trait of yours that you insert into your own characters? Because we always talk about that authors always put a little piece of themselves in books. So I'm curious what things you find yourself putting in, and then I'll share mine.
Well, the mother in the book, I think at one point she makes tea and cinnamon toast.
So for when the main character gets sick, it's a comfort food.
And I did that all the time for my kids.
Yeah. We specifically wanted to call that out in the book as a comfort thing.
That is amazing.
And we made the mom character bake furiously because that's what she does. In fact, today we had a conversation about how we both were like, we really wanted like cookies or something, but gosh, we just did not want to bake them. Because that's like our MO. Most people are like, everybody in our life knows we like to bake. So we definitely made sure that one of the characters had a very strong baking. In fact, she owns a bakery in the book. And then for Bridget,
she's a lot of you.
She is a lot of me, but honestly, the sassy bit of me is put into one of the other characters, Kaylin McKay, because he gets to have all the good one-liners that I really like. You know, the ones that are kind of snotty that we all wanted to, we like the mic drop ones. And I put them on him unintentionally, but it just seems so fitting for that character.
That is, I love that. I love that the mother character is reminiscent of the mother author in this duo, and that the sassiness makes it to the other characters. I sneak a lot of myself, I think, in a lot of my characters. So one of the things that I notice both with my earlier work, which is a dark YA piece, the Tattooed Angels trilogy, and then also my Paranormal Romance with Trayvon Family Saga, is Dante and Houghton have this internal dialogue where they're constantly second guessing themselves and tripping themselves up by overthinking. That is something I do. Have you ever wondered what Val's inside Val's read both those characters and be frustrated? They're like, just think straight. You had the right answer. Like, do
you know what you're doing?
Like, stop. The other thing I like to do is things I've experienced, I like to include. So one of the things that I've always wanted to use is that one of my first jobs as a teen was I worked at an exotic vet office for 3 years. Like there is, it was always crazy because I'd walk in and it had one of those old kerkunk style. It was very archaic.
Like punch cards?
Yeah, punch cards. And it was so loud. And then I'd hear Doc in the back go, "Valerie, is that you?" Like, yeah, Doc.
Who else would it be?
He goes, "You're part of the Future Farmers of America. You're part of FFA. You guys do your own vaccinations and things for the cattle and pigs, right?" And I said, "Yeah." He says, "So you're familiar with that?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh, no.
And he hands me these 3 massive syringes and he goes, "I need you to vaccinate the tiger, Val." "What tiger?" He goes, "Oh, they just pulled in the parking lot." And I'm like, "Well, am I doing it through like or like how are we doing this?" He goes, "We're gonna open the door and put you in there and close the door and hide
Into
around
the
the corner." Yes. Because he doesn't like men and you're only female working today.
Where you're like, "Hold on, let me punch right out. I gotta leave."
So they put me, yeah. So I wanted to capture this sensation of like, a petite or curvy person facing monstrous. So
hold on. Did you actually do it?
Yeah, I got in the cage. It was a 600 pound full grown male Bengal tiger. He purred louder than any house cat I had ever encountered, was nudging his head. His head was wider than I was.
Oh, my goodness.
And I had to hit him with the shots while his head's nuzzling my guts. But I gave him the shots, and then he let me pat him and dote on him. He was declawed. But it was definitely a wild experience.
Was this tiger for the Tiger King or the?
So there is a place called Jungle Adventures.
Yes.
That is just past Fort Christmas.
Yes.
I know it sounds like I'm making up a story, right?
It really
Christmas, Florida is a place. And they take in rescues from Florida wildlife all the time, specifically big cats. So this was someone didn't have a permit or something was a scenario, and they take them in.
Really cute. And
well, they are really cute until they maul you.
Until they're 600 pounds
and maul you,
can eat you.
Yeah. And the reason why they declaw all of anything they take in is because they have an agreement with the local sheriff's department out there that if they're declawed, they are not shoot on sight. Because they work really hard with those animals to kind of train them and things like that. And despite all the hurricanes we've been hit with, and God, that's like circa 2002, 2001 when I was working there and did that, they've never had an incident that I'm aware of. They're really good at what they do, and their hurricane practices match. So I've taken all those experiences that I've been itching to kind of find a way into my work, and I'm putting them in my work in progress. And that's a paranormal rom-com called I Accidentally Reanimated the Billionaire's Hellhound. So I'm like, and the main character is a supernatural pet veterinarian. And so I'm kind of like blending all the different things I used to do there, but it's on like cryptids and crazy creatures and things like that. So I figured that was a fun way of putting a piece of myself into a story that I've always wanted to use. But now it's your turn to ask a question.
Okay. So moving on down the line, if you had to sing karaoke right this second, what song would you pick?
I'm a Bee by Meredith Brooks. Is it Meredith Brooks that sings that? I'm pretty sure it is. That was the very first karaoke song I ever did, and I only do karaoke if someone bets me money. I'm like, I'll sing it. I think the other go-to was X's and O's by Trisha Yearwood was another one that I used to do. I think the last time I did karaoke though.
Wait, was it X's and O's not Trisha Yearwood?
I'm pretty sure it was Trisha Yearwood. She has one titled that. There's another name for it, and I never can remember it.
Oh, okay.
And then, the last time I did karaoke, which was a bet, and I got to pick, and I picked because I know all the lyrics. Wonder Boy by Tenacious D.
Amazing.
And then I had like 3 people buy me a drink. They're like, and then I felt old because they're like, I've never heard that song before.
I hate children. Oh, God. You go out in the world.
It's such a cool song.
Be my age and people make references and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And like, Leslie, what are they talking about? Because I don't know.
I mean, I know Wonderwall because
Wonderwall's a good time. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know Tenacious D, Jack Black.
And Kevin G.
And Kevin. I thought the way you said that. And Kevin.
Oh, but yeah, so those are my 3 go-to karaoke songs, and I usually I'm like, pay me and I'll sing, which I'm terrible at singing in my regards, but apparently I make impressions on drunk people, so I'm doing something right.
Whatever works, right?
I make a show of it, okay?
A whole show.
I mean, you have to at that point. If you're singing Tenacious D, you got to own that, and you got to do honor to Jack Black. And
right. And I figured it gave me the excuse to be silly while I was up there. You know, I could rock it out like Jack Black, style. Oh my God, I did not mute that. But yeah, it's it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and everyone's like, I didn't know. They're like, that was an interesting choice. I said, but I know all the lyrics. I'm like, it's an easy song. It's well paced. And then if enough people in this bar know it, they'll sing along with it and then drown me out.
Usually how's that go? That's how that goes.
Everybody chip in.
What about you guys? What karaoke song would you pick?
Me? None, because I don't sing karaoke. I have no idea. I never thought of that. I can't.
What is a song that you know the lyrics by heart and find yourself singing along to? It cracks me up because my husband will sing along to "I'm Just a Girl" by Gwen Stefani. He's like, I'm like, that's great.
That's amazing.
It is. He's got a better singing voice than I do. She
sings. She hums along and sings to a lot of stuff. She listens to a lot of country, which annoys me because I'm not a country girl. And the worst part is all the country she listens to is the really slow, sleepy songs. And I'm like, can we not do this while we're driving home from a 6-hour drive from somewhere and it's 2:00 in the morning and I'm driving and I'm not. This is my bedtime. Like,
yeah, I have to change the channel or turn it off or something.
It's the worst thing in the world. Yeah.
I'm a big country girl. I've actually helped. I've had a crazy life. Okay, I've helped set up stages for Aaron Tippin and them and all sorts of stuff. But I've also somehow ended up front row at Toby Keith and Brad Paisley and Garth Brooks and things like that growing up. And I don't know if it was because of my interaction with FFA and that we often get asked to help volunteer for like because
makes
what it
sense.
is it's Okoy's Founders Day and Winter Gardens Founders Day. They bring out some pretty big stars that come out there.
Yeah.
I think we had I want to say Tracy Lawrence and a few others out there, and it's always a good time at the country concerts and stuff like that. That doesn't mean I haven't also done rock. I've been
Right.
Skillet and Fuel and all of those. So and Maroon 5, before they got really big, they were always opening for someone at House of Blues, so it was always interesting. And I'm like, oh man, now they're like really big. It's weird. So what's your favorite country singers then?
Oh, Kenny Chesney, Luke
That's
Bryan.
That's another good one.
Yeah, I can't. I remember Simon and Garfunkel before they were Simon and Garfunkel. That's how old I am.
They're no longer Simon and Garfunkel.
I know,
talk
but
to each other.
The things have transitioned thrice in their lifespan career.
Yeah. I remember seeing them in New York.
Yeah, I mean,
Little clubs and that kind of stuff.
Old. She was around during Beatles mania, and like,
yeah, it was.
She went to Woodstock. Like, my mother's
that is amazing. That is amazing.
This one over here is like, I went to Woodstock, whatever, and I'm like,
whatever.
Yeah, well, whatever.
That's a big deal.
And smelly.
We were at GalaxyCon Richmond, and this is my favorite thing in the world, and then we can get back to who else she loves, because this is how old she is and it entertains me. There was teenagers. It entertained the hell out of me. I was laughing so hard.
Chelsea.
Yeah, me and another author were just sitting there laughing ourselves to tears because it was so funny. These like teenagers came over and asked, they
wanted to buy a gift for their mother. Now I was looking at I was doing the extra booth with the t-shirts and the
crowns and the flowers or whatever.
Everything.
They couldn't remember how old she was going to be.
I asked her how old her mother is, because I'm thinking, maybe she doesn't want a crown, maybe she wants a t-shirt, And then she says, I don't know. And I went, okay, when's her birthday? Thinking maybe it's tomorrow. And I don't know.
But wait,
how can you not know how? Okay. So the two girls talk to each other, and then one turns to me and says, well, I think my mother is older than you. And I said, I think so. And I told her my age. And I said, and I remember this, and I did this.
Wait, the best part, what got me is that she said, my mom said she was older than whatever. And she goes, I think she said something like, I think my mom was born in like the 80s or 90s or whatever. And then she made a comment about how she thought everybody born in the 80s were dead.
And I told you, just killed off
90%
of the people.
And that's
in the booth.
what I heard. And I just was like, I need to know more about this.
No concept of time and age.
It was very
can't
funny.
do the math. The math's too hard.
And then
it was like a 20-minute conversation.
And then the best part is that they were just like, you were around here, and I was like, she was around when Martin Luther King was alive. They're like, did you meet him?
Oh, they were like, did you know Martin Luther? No,
I was like, she was around when
she was rolling.
I was like, when girls couldn't wear pants to school. Like, I'm just throwing out every historical.
Listen,
like, she watched the Queen get coronated, and they were like, what?
You're the most amazing elder and magical creature.
It was amazing.
I was like, don't you have parents that were same age or grandparents? I mean, look, they came back the next day
for the whole convention just to talk to her.
Just to talk to me.
A lot of people forget Martin Luther King grew up in St. Augustine or lived in St. Augustine for a hot minute. So sometimes on the trolley tour, a woman that he used to stay with will come out and talk to you about the time that Martin Luther King preached at her church and stayed with her during all of the marches and stuff going on over there by the fort and stuff. So like a lot of people don't realize that history
may not important. I didn't do that.
Archaic, but it's actually like this. It's
right.
It's a stone's throw. It's not that far, not that long, children.
So we live in New Jersey, and it's historical as can be. The Revolutionary War and the Civil War just blew its nose all over the place here. But one of the towns next to us has a historical farm called Foster Fields, and the owner of that farm was named Caroline Foster. I didn't know this until last night. She lived until 102 years old, and she was on that farm when she was 4 years old. So she's been there for 90-something years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And the visitor center is still around and is, it looks modern. It doesn't look like it was made in the 1800s. She was there for the opening, and I kept going like mind blown. Like, was I alive when Caroline Foster was alive? Like, was that possible? Like, it was. You're right. It felt. It feels like this, and it really was like this.
Yeah. So, Leslie, you've dodged this. What is your favorite artist, group, music? What music? You're not into country. We've established that.
So actually, if anybody in my personal life knows me, they know I hate karaoke because I'm actually a trained singer. And so when people ask me to sing karaoke, it feels like I'm a jukebox or like one of those little toy monkeys that you wind up and pay coins to. So I don't really love that. But I mean, I have sung karaoke and I do car karaoke all the time like everybody else. One of the songs that I'm really getting into recently is a song by a former Little Mix member. Her name is Perry, and she's been singing. She has a song that was just released 2 months ago called "If He Wanted to, He Would," and it's so catchy because she's singing about to her friend like, "This guy is treating you like dirt, and I get it. The bedroom time is really fun, but he's not doing the basics, and that's essential. So if he wanted to, he would." Like, you got to break up with him. And she's got a great album, and I'm excited for it to come out. I think it just got released. So that would be one of my songs I would sing. I'm also a Broadway fan. So give me a song on the 6 soundtrack and I'm rocking out to any of it.
I think one of my favorite karaokes I've ever seen and watched, there's been 2. One was Apple Bottom Jeans, and it was a scrawny white kid, but he nailed it. And it was like one of those live band style karaoke. Yeah. I think it was the Rising Star at City Walk. It was my first time there, and he rocked it. But the above that was I was in a dive bar, and someone did Grease, and it was 2 guys, and the other one's doing the high pitch. Yes! But I mean, like, you got goosebumps. They were nailing it so well, right? So I get that.
No, I love a good Broadway soundtrack, and 6 is top to bottom. There is not one song you would skip because it's so good all across the entire soundtrack. And if you haven't seen the show or the touring company or anything, I would highly recommend it because it portrays like a concert. It doesn't portray as like a regular show.
A play.
Yeah, like a regular, but it's not a storyline in the same way. It's basically the 6 wives of Henry VIII, and they're all like
telling their story.
But it's not even that. They're basically they're in a competition. So they're saying like, no, mine is worse. And it's someone's like, oh, I died. And they're like, but you had a kid, you died of nature, and I was beheaded. And someone was like, cool, I was divorced. And they're like, again, beheaded. So they're all fighting each other to be like, let me tell you my trauma. Let me trauma dump on you in a song, audience. And then you can tell us who sings it better. And then the music is just fire. So,
and the whole cast
is fun.
Everybody is a woman on stage. There is not one male in that entire play. So, it's great. And like, they do such a great job. They don't really need set changes. It's just a lot of lighting that changes up, and it's beautiful. And of course, the actors have to carry the show in a different way than if they were relying on an actual storyline, like the plot. They have to rely on their emotion in a different way because it's mostly song. It's an 1.5-hour show, and the music alone is an hour long. So there's not a lot of talking and dialogue.
No, that's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I think of the last time I got a chance to do Broadway and like sit down and see like a full show, not like a demo. And it was either Tartuffe, which is always a good time because it's the shady priest chasing after the wife every time the husband's turning around and he's pulling a flask out of the Bible, and it's just freaking hilarious. And then because it's the over trusting husband scenario and the bad decisions he makes. And then the other one was the Full Monty, and it started with a Chip and Dale. Like, my friends like, you want to see the Full Monty on Broadway? And I'm like, yeah, I do. Why not?
The only time I saw
it was phenomenal. The music was great. They're a great time, and they're definitely something to experience. If y'all out there have not gone to a Broadway, I recommend at least add it to your bucket list.
Oh, for sure.
No, I had seen Chippendales on the TV. I had just given birth to my son. It was 1980. And all the nurses, I flipping channels, and I guess he was on some talk show. They were doing their little, vignette
Public
of
television.
it. Yeah.
Public television.
Yeah.
And I had about 12 nurses all sitting on the floor in front of me watching it. And
my favorite comedy routine, I don't remember if it was Living in Color or SNL who did this, but it was Patrick Swayze and Chris Farley.
Yeah.
That was Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Yes. It was freaking phenomenal scene. Look it up. It is fantastic.
It is so very funny.
So we have one last question. What's your ideal sandwich? So before we get started, are we counting hamburgers as sandwiches as well?
I would say
no. I would say no.
I mean, it's
sandwiches,
veggies, and 2 breads.
Yeah, but I think of a sandwich as
deli meat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or not even. I mean, it doesn't have to be just deli meat, right? Like a chicken parm is a sandwich, an eggplant parm is a sandwich.
Well,
but I just don't see a burger being a sandwich.
Sandwiches and hamburgers, maybe like their own categories.
That's what that's how I categorize them.
Okay. I wanted to ask because depending on that will depend on what my answer is. Research purposes. Okay. Research purposes.
I mean, we could answer for both of them. We could say like, what's your ideal burger,
favorite hamburger and favorite sandwich? Let's do this. You guys start.
I know what you're going to say.
The Italian with the salami, the cavicole, the provolone, the whole, yeah.
Yeah.
She's basic. She's a basic Sicilian. What do you want?
I know what I like.
My husband orders the same thing. So
why?
He just wants lettuce on it and a little bit of that brown mustard and mayo, and he's done. He's good.
No mayo. Italians don't use mayo. They use butter.
Full-blooded Sicilian over here, kids. So I'm surprised that's what you said, because my favorite sandwich is the one from I don't remember the name of it because the name changes, but it's actually fried chicken, breaded fried chicken, the way an Italian would make it, which is different from the way Americans make it. And so it's a nice thin cut Italian breading, fried, so good. And then there's a slice of fresh mozzarella on top, and then freshly sauteed baccalaureate. And it's just that on a sandwich, and it's so good.
It's
so good. Like my mom's, when my mom
flavor combo there, because that's always the fun part about a sandwich, right? You're getting a pop of this and that.
Yeah, and some people you can add to that if you want to, which is great because it's a nice basic foundational thing because there's no sauce on it, there's no anything on it, so you can add sun-dried tomatoes if you wanted them, or roasted red peppers or something like that if you wanted to continue, or I don't know, oh gosh, I'm picturing it and now I can't think of the name, but you can add things to it, which is great. I don't, because it is so tasty, because the breading on the Italian, in the Italian breading is flavorful in itself. And the bread is nice enough to counteract that. And then you get the garlic from the broccoli, and then you get the cheesiness from the mozzarella because it's nice and fresh, because we are from Jersey, thank you. And it's so good.
Yeah, it's a good sandwich.
I know some places will add fresh tomato to it as well. I say no, thank you.
See, I feel like I'm 180 from that. If I could sit down and order whatever sandwich from wherever I want and have all the materials in front of me, I would have to say the flavor scope that I like. And of course, maybe it's because I grew up eating fish.
Oh, fish is good though.
Yeah. So a honey wheat bread, right?
Mm-hmm.
With just a plain tuna, just tuna and mayo kind of mixture.
Mm-hmm.
With lettuce, tomato, pickle, oil and vinegar, salt and pepper. And it's just got this sweet and savory pop. And it knocks out the tuna's fishiness, but it's got, and I do it cold because it's just this nice.
It should be cold.
Yeah, it's just a nice blend. Now, if I'm ordering a hamburger, I love a good black and blue burger. There was one at Miller's that they don't take it away from me. But
like Miller's Ale House?
Yeah.
Oh.
They had a black and blue burger that I loved there because it was I get a medium patty, right? And then it was, I think, a peppered bacon on it.
Peppered bacon?
Yeah. And then and then it had crumbled blue cheese, lettuce, tomato, and then a garlic aioli on the bread.
See, that changes everything.
Right. And I think they even sprinkled like a garlic crema.
Okay.
And so it had this nice garlic blue cheese, it's a very loud flavor on a hamburger, but it with the hamburger, it was just this nice meld and cheesiness to it with the garlic pop.
It just enhanced the hamburger.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So with hamburgers, I like a good basic burger because I see it as if a restaurant can't handle a good basic burger, then the rest of them are going to be trash. Because if you can't get the foundation, then you got nothing for your house of cards.
Right.
So actually I went to a local restaurant today and got a burger. It's so good. We have a place in town called Denville Dog and Grill, and they are so good. They have like boardwalk type food, and while we live in lake communities, because Denville has like 11 lakes, we don't live down the shore. So it's the food from down the shore all the way up here, and it's just nice. And they're only open in the warmer season, so they're closed for the winter. And
those are always the good little finds. They're like closed for a couple of months of the year. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a steakhouse around here that does the same thing, Linda's La Cantina. It's been family owned for like 55 years.
Same.
But they do like a pan-seared steak, and their filet mignon will just melt in your mouth every time.
So I got the plain burger today, which is just the regular hamburger, and it came with lettuce, pickles, tomato, onion, ketchup, and mayo, which I don't love as like a sauce by itself, but when it's on that hamburger and I'm not assembling it, it is so good. And that's really good. But then for national, I'll do Habit Burger because their burgers are really, really satisfying.
Nice.
I'll just say that.
What about you, Janice? Are you a hamburger eater or not a hamburger eater?
No, I like hamburgers, but lettuce, tomato, not too many onions. I like the cheddar cheese on it. And a lot of places put American cheese, and I don't like it.
No,
I like
the good cheddar. I like pepper jack on occasion. I change cheeses often, but
I do like a good cheddar.
Yeah,
or Swiss when you do like mushrooms.
Yeah, with the mushrooms. Yeah,
the mushrooms. Yeah. Look at us connecting with our flavors.
Listen, we know what tastes good, right? We're just commenting on that.
Exactly. Well, that was our last question. I guess we do an outro. Where can they find you guys in your books, and remind them what you write?
Sure. So we write young adult fantasy, Scottish mythology retelling at this moment. You can find us on all socials. Instagram is where we're most prominent, and we do also post on Facebook and TikTok. So that's where I would recommend finding us. And you can also find our books wherever books are sold, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, I think Walmart, Target, maybe your local library, and definitely at our website, which is leslieandjanicesommers.com, or the Four Horsemen publication website.
And I've been Valerie Willis. I am a co-founder of Four Horsemen. It is founded by indie authors for indie authors kind of setup. I am an expert typesetter, and I'm an award-winning fantasy author, paranormal romance author. You can find my books and myself at willisauthor.com. On socials, it's usually at Willis Author for the most part. I usually haunt TikTok and Instagram the most, but I usually cross-pollinate everywhere. Oh, and YouTube is the new place that I've been trying to get around on. Be sure to like and follow both of us. You can also find my books at Four Horsemen Publications and on online retailers where books are sold. So this has been Author 321 Chats, and thanks for joining us for chatting about a little bit of everything today.
Yeah, a whole lot of everything.
3, 2, 1, go.